Hello everybody, welcome back to the dually build series. If you're new, basically I got this dually from 74 Auto. They're a salvage company out in Missouri. They buy easily fixable vehicles for people like you and me to buy so we can get them back on the road quick with minimal work. They've got a ton of inventory on hand: trucks, cars, sports cars, luxury cars, off-road vehicles, Jeeps. You talk about anything. I'm here to show you that a regular dumb guy like me can do anything. But we do have a lot to cover in today's video. Fix the back window, install the carpets, put in the new rear suspension, do a little bit of wiring, pull out some more stuff, put in some more stuff, among some other things. Obviously today's a long episode. It's almost like 40 minutes long. It might be more than that by the time I get done editing. Sit back, enjoy. We do have a long episode, but before we get started, you guys know and love sponsorships, right? No, but seriously though, I do appreciate the sponsorship opportunities. They help the builds like this keep going fast as possible, and I can kind of hustle this build along as fast as possible so you guys aren't barren for content, which you guys have been really patient about it, but I'm doing my best. Anyway, we do have a sponsorship for today's video, which is Raid Shadow Legends. Let's check it out. That was awesome. I need you to forget everything you know about mobile games. I mean, like, not really, because then you wouldn't know what I'm about to talk about, but, you know, like, okay? One of the most ambitious RPGs of 2019 has just been released, and it's gonna change everything. Raid is the most immersive experience you'll find on a mobile game, and really, it can only be compared to, like, top-tier titles from PC and consoles. But here's the kicker. It's free. It's got an amazing storyline, sexy-ass 3D graphics, giant boss fights, PvP battles,
and hundreds of champions to collect and customize.
But I would never expect to get this level of performance out of a mobile game. Look how crazy the level of detail is on these champions. And starting now is going to give you a huge lead. And there's also a special launch tournament with crazy prizes. And you better join my clan too. All you gotta do is search King Dingaling. That's me. So you better go to the description of this video right here. Download right through my link. Don't use anybody else's link, because I know where you live. I'll break your fucking legs. And you'll get a free 50,000 silver and an epic champion. I mean, come on. That's courtesy of the development team. I told them to do that. Me, King Dingaling. I'll see you there. But now, I gotta go take this truck apart. So, let's go do that. Since we're in here, I still need to pull this out and reupholster this, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off so I can reupholster it. Now this should be really easy to do. I'm not even gonna pull off the old material, I'm just gonna stretch new material over it, call it good. We're gonna start out with this, which should be done hopefully pretty easily. This is just the sun visor for the sunroof. So I'm just gonna apply some glue to this, wrap it, nip it, tuck it, call it good, hopefully. Also, I'm gonna have the back window replaced. Yeah, so let's dive right into it. Boom! Look at that. Now we have a nice suede moonroof cover. I don't know. Obviously I'm gonna paint this part black, and I still gotta clean up. There's some overspray, just how things happen in this garage. But we'll let that dry for a minute first. My faithful companion Jackson the dog. That's right, that's you, buddy. Next we got to reupholster these, visors. As you can see, they're pretty dirty all the way around. Just dirt. But I want to reupholster these in the same black suede, and then paint the parts that need to go black. Tape it off, make it super simple. Have you seen this guy? Anyway, disassembling visors is interesting because looking at it, you know, you see a little seam here. You think maybe that's just the material that's been sewn together and tucked, but actually visors are just kind of like a weird sandwich, right? So there's a couple ways we can get this open. I prefer to try to do this without having to cut it, but I might have to. There's clips in here that are like basically little sandwich clips that hold these two pieces together, and the easiest way to do it is to cut along back here and usually get access to those clips. I would prefer not to do that because it's going to make my life harder when it comes to reupholstering these with the suede. Okay, so I've taken apart one or two of these before. The one I took before had clips, usually right around here. These are actually, this one appears to be foam backed and it's held together with glue. So this one I think we're just gonna have to pry open, which kind of sucks, but we'll glue it back. At least that's consistent. Just pop these pieces out. I'm gonna do that on this one too. Thinking about it. So let's talk about this because this is different than the one I've opened up before. For these, it looks like they just glued this styrofoam together and then they sandwich everything, and then you can pop these clips out without having to take it out. There's two clips here, here, and here. And you just pop this whole thing out without having to take off the whole mirror assembly, which is a lot different than the one that I've taken apart before. The ones that I've taken apart before, there's little clips that go all the way around, and you just kind of have to cut the material and pop them off. It's unfortunate that it took me this one to find out. Not that it really matters because there really wasn't any casualties other than this mirror. The good thing is that I can literally just pop out this piece of mirror and have a new piece installed. I can get this at any glass company, so I'll do that while I have them out. But I can go ahead and reupholster these because these will just pop right back in place. What I will do now is I'll take this trim tool and basically shove it in between the entire thing, pop the adhesive loose so I can get ready to reupholster this thing. Whew. And it's gonna need a damn good adhesive to hold these two pieces together. That spray headliner is not gonna work when going to seal this back up. Don't get me wrong, I'll still use the spray adhesive when it comes to actually reupholstering this bit, but you don't wanna use that spray adhesive just to make these two pieces of styrofoam stick together. I think I have some pretty good like Gorilla Glue or something that I'll use. That should hold everything nice and tight. Now I need to measure. So we need probably about 16 inches by 16 by 20, so 2 of those. So when I first did the headliner on the truck, the stuff that I used is this 3M Headliner Adhesive. And I ran out of this stuff pretty damn quick. I ran through 2 cans quick. The reviews online aren't bad on it. It's not the best. This is certainly the easiest out of the adhesives that I use to work with. It's got a long set time. It's got a long tack time. It was really great to learn how to do the headliner on this stuff. However, I'm not sure if this is gonna do great as far as heat. Tried a couple other ones, and then this is the one that I've been using the most recently, the Permatex Body Shop High Heat heavy duty headliner adhesive. This stuff has easily the best tacking time. You got about 3 or 5 minutes to work with as far as like getting everything worked out. I would suggest working quick but slow with this stuff. Work in small segments if possible and do it as fast as you can. This is what I used for most of the headliner, and this is what I'm gonna use for both of these. One, I've got it wrapped, looks nice, smooth, no wrinkles, crease turned out really nicely. Looks like it'll have a good fit once we glue it down. So I'm gonna let this sit over here and dry and work on the other one. However, I do need to correct this mistake I made over here. And we'll let it get nice and tacky, much like a suburban mom drinking box wine and taking Xanax. Now we gotta paint all these bits. I know it's awkward to be on camera, just like you. So dude, it's so weird, right? He's not shy at all. What are you talking about? He's been super kind to me. I just want to introduce yourself, say who you are, and say what company you do, and like, you know. Oh, now it's going. Yeah.
Oh. Well, my name's David Hernandez, and I'm the owner / technician of Autoglass Tech. Oh, we're going to be replacing this back glass right here. It's got the power slider, the heated element in it.
Oh yeah, it's got every possible complication. Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, how much did you end up getting this piece of glass for? I know it's this expensive.
Yeah, it's almost a grand actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was looking at them online. I couldn't find any of them for less than $900.
Really?
Yeah, it was awful. Plus shipping, so you know it's gonna come out to be that anyway. But you're telling me that you had to rip all this stuff out anyway.
All this paneling is gonna come off. These panels. This cover right here.
Yeah, this has got all the weathering strip in it too.
Yeah, that's where the regulator is.
Right here, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that just controls, this pulls the window open and close.
This centerpiece, yep.
Which still works nice, but you can't just replace the piece of glass here. This is one big piece. So you have to take out this whole thing.
Yep, here's the cable right there, the regulator.
Yeah. It just runs along
It's on the plastic that's on the glass.
You gotta replace this whole piece anyway, and not fun.
No, not fun at all. But luckily, you got the seats out.
Oh yeah, I made it as easy as I could for you.
And I appreciate that. That actually is gonna move the process a lot quicker.
I also tried to I let the windows down and let it air out a little bit because it's been musty in this thing for a little while. Yeah, let me know if you need anything from me. I'll do whatever I can.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I feel really bad too because this is essentially like the hottest day we've had all year. It's like 80 some odd degrees and it's humid. I'm like, yeah, I'll turn on the AC. And they're like, nah, we're used to it. I'm like, okay. Now, you normally don't come out this far, do you?
I normally don't, but, you know.
You know, you had to give me the hookup.
Yeah.
Man, look at that expensive piece of crap.
And it even says GM
on it.
Authentic
GM, that means it's going to have a recall. Yeah, I'm not going to get in y'all's way. If y'all need anything, I'll be in the garage for the next 5 days. So, yeah.
Let you know if I need anything.
All right, remember, fan, extension, you name it. This actually took place while Shaq and I were doing the Starlight Headliner. If you haven't seen that video yet, it's in the description. It's also probably in the related and in the playlist. That's just the headliner bit. If you haven't seen it, you want to go check that out. I made just a sole video of that because it was such a long process and I really wanted to focus on the work that goes into it. But if you've already seen it, continue watching from here. While I was waiting for some of I ran out real quick to Lowe's. They will cut mirrors for you to size. So I gave them the dimensions, 6 by 2 3/4. They cut me out, actually they cut me out 2, but that one's got a little imperfection in it that I didn't notice. However, I think this one is close in size. So it's just like a hair taller and a hair wider. So I think I might have to take some sandpaper to some of these edges here, smooth them out, make sure if I can't knock off just a little bit. But I got a replacement glass, and the quality of glass that they cut is much nicer than the one that's already in the automotive one. All I got to do now is remove these little backing pieces, these little foam backing pieces on both of these, throw them on the back of this one, it'll be good to go. Very happy with the way these looked. Turned out well. The only thing that's missing, obviously, is the mirror piece, because putting it back in cracked the other one. Because I didn't notice, but some of the material got caught in these clips, and I tried to get it to lock down in there, and I pushed too hard and cracked it. So you're like, oh, well, Dan, you bought 2 replacement mirrors, right? Yeah, I did. Other than that, everything fits nice. Obviously, there's some overspray right along the edges here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for this to set nice and strong. Then I'm gonna go after it with some Goo Gun, clean in here, get any sort of overspray off. Then we can put these in. Yeah. Before I can get the carpet out, gotta remove the center console. There's a little spot back here that'd be awesome for like hiding drugs and stuff. All right, it's time to do the carpets. I got my new carpet in. It's in this box over here. I don't know what my camera recorded and did not record, because the memory card ended up becoming full as I was like finishing up. So I have the OEM carpet ripped out now. Scratchy, 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 scratchy. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Dan, why did you keep the OEM carpet if it's so nasty and ruined? And I'll tell you why. Because when you order new carpet, at least from the company that I ordered it from, it's pre-molded like this carpet is. However, it's not pre-cut, which means that I needed to keep the old carpet so I could see where it needs to be cut. It certainly doesn't look exactly the same, does it? I have a lot of opportunities to fuck this up. You're just getting your feet's all over it. You are something else, you know that? Basically, I'm gonna do my best with this X-Acto knife to cut out the areas that match the best I can. And I'm probably gonna not get this accurate. So the way this works is that they take a big piece of carpet, you can sculpt it to your vehicle. They press it down on a copy of your floor pan in your car, and they vacuum seal it, they heat it up, and they make sure it fits and everything like that. And then they say, hey, fuckface, you cut it out. I ended up getting the carpet with the mass backing on the back too. It's thicker, it molds a little bit better, and this is a much nicer carpet than this. And obviously, because of the black headliner, I went with black. I might just peel off all this jute and lay it on top of it, try to get the best cut possible. So I guess I'm gonna do that real quick. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something I don't normally do, and I'm gonna wear gloves, because this shit is nasty. piece is done. This is a 2-piece carpet. Obviously, Jackson's over there being an asshole, aren't you, Jackson? So you notice that it probably looks a little funny to you guys. Some of the holes don't look like they line up, but because this is a 3D space, it lays differently. So once you bring it out, this is where the transmission tunnel is. Once you fill that space out, it really fits a lot better. But I also didn't cut directly to the edges for several reasons. One, because I don't know how much flex this carpet's gonna have once it goes in. I don't know what type of space I'm gonna be working with. They also cut the carpet longer than what your OEM carpet's like, so that way if you need to trim it and make adjustments, it's not too short for your truck or your car. As I would go and create more holes to make sure everything's still lined up, I would clamp them down with these little spring clamps here, and that would assure me that when I'm applying pressure and moving things, that this carpet wasn't getting moved and it wouldn't throw off where everything lines up. So these would be helpful if you guys do something like that. I wish I had more of these. I only have like 2. Actually, I think I have 3. I don't know what the other one is. But just little spring clamps. These are like $2 at Home Depot or Lowe's. But this should line up nice. I think I am gonna trim this last little top piece off though, just to make sure it'll fit where the transmission tunnel goes. Then we'll start working on that other piece. Woo! So before I get to putting the carpet in and test fitting, I'm gonna clean the kind of the floor pan in here first, because it's still pretty dirty. I'm doing my best to get this thing as clean as possible, but man, they did not make it easy for me. It's dirt in every nook and cranny. So I'm gonna vacuum it, kind of clean it up a little bit, and then we'll test fit. Then if everything looks good, we'll do the final trimmings on the carpet inside the car, then we'll clean it, the carpet that is, then put it in. Should be as simple as that, which means it's gonna be difficult. It's a shame I couldn't find any more pennies to vacuum up. A couple dimes, but no pennies. No, seriously though, that comment made me laugh so hard, dude. All right, I did my best. There's a couple spots in here that I couldn't tell if were just like mold or old food or a dead animal or whatnot. I got it mostly purified. There's still dirt in places that I'll never get out. Like, it is what it is. However, I'm gonna do a test fit on the carpet and basically just kind of put it in here and be like, oh cool, it fits or it doesn't fit. And I'll pull it out and lay the jute. I got some extra padding for the carpet, like the sound deadening stuff, and like to add like soft support and whatnot. I got some more of that. I'll lay that down in the areas that I seem fit, and then hopefully everything will fit. So let's try to do that. The tops on these I haven't trimmed yet because I wanted to make sure that they were gonna line up, but over there everything's lined up, and back here everything's gonna line up too once I get that front end trimmed. So leave this here just for a split second, put the back in, and then I think we'll pull it back out, do the final trimming, call it good. Not bad, this is gonna be nice. Black on black. That is a good fit. I'm very surprised on how well this seems to fit around everything, because I had very low expectations. I'm not even gonna pretend like I didn't. So, like I said, the fitment is almost absolutely perfect. What I'll do is I'll tuck all this shit later. And the reason I'll wait on this is for two reasons. Is mostly because the padding underneath, and two, because I'm pretty sure the seats are gonna need to sit flush on these, but I do not recall if they do or not. So I'll wait till I get the seats to do the final trimming, but everything should go pretty much together just like this. So, but I'm gonna pack it in for right this second, get cleaned up and move this, because it's my birthday and my girlfriend got me tickets to go see Joe Rogan, which I'm super excited about. I do want to test fit something real quick though. That trim and finish is pretty darn good, which is good considering what I paid for. I think when I first started looking, I was like, oh man, you know, carpet's really pretty cheap. I got a whole set of carpet for this thing for 150 bucks. I was like, 150 bucks for a whole set of carpet for a truck? You know, you can't really beat that. It sounds super reasonable. And it was like, well, do you want like, you know, do you want like shit carpet or do you want like nice carpet? And I was like, well, obviously I want, you know, a little bit nicer carpet. They're like, that's a $80 option. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? You know, it's still under $300, that's not bad. Well, you should probably get mass backing too. And I was like, that sounds important. And I was like, that's another $70 option. Oh yeah, by the way, shipping's gonna be a fuckload. So I think altogether, this whole carpet cost me a good bit. It's probably what I would consider like an 85 to 90% fit. If I put some backing behind it, it'll put me at like that like 90, 95 range, you know what I'm saying? I will say this, just be wary when ordering from any of these OEM carpet people, because it's not always gonna be perfect. And once you start cutting on it, you can't return it. I just happened to get lucky, I think. All right, so we got all this carpet in, which is nice. Needs to come out though. We also got our new box. This is the 16-volt one. We're gonna hardwire this one up here in a second here, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. But for now, I'm gonna take it out. Pull out the carpet for the third time, and then install the jute flooring, which is kind of like soundproofing, weatherproofing, stuff like that. That added the layer of stuff that I needed. So now that we've done the back, let's talk about the front. I ordered the mass backing for the whole carpet, which means that it's extra thick plastic, like the polymer that's on the bottom is extra thick to prevent water from getting through, and it's to provide a little bit more cushion. However, the back did not have any jute already pre-applied, the front did. There's a pretty thick layer of the same material that I'm using in the back as I am on the front. So pretty much the whole front has jute already applied to it. It's a little bit lacking here in the floor pan, so what I'm gonna do is add just the last little bit on both the driver and the passenger side, but that'll cover us up perfectly fine. A lot of people are gonna be like, Dan, why didn't you soundproof this with whatever mat that you prefer? And I'll be honest, this truck doesn't need it. With this carpet and this padding underneath it, it's actually very quiet in here now, especially, which was the original sound problem. Now that we got the back window replaced, that has solved almost, I would say 80% of our loudness. It was so loud with that back window open. Now that it's fixed and sealed, there's no sound coming through it at all. It's very quiet in here. So like I said, I'm gonna just trim these last pieces here, snake it up underneath here for some extra padding in the footwell, and then that's gonna be it. Nice. Nice carpet, perfectly done. Well, I'd say like 95% now. Again, I'll have to make the finishing trimming cuts once the seats get in and make sure everything else lines up, but I think we should be good. Now that the carpet's taken out, I need to take out the A-pillars, and I'll explain why in a second, but I'm gonna take them out first. So We have the A pillars and the B pillars and the C pillars. The C pillars are still in the truck. I'm not gonna pull those out just yet, mostly because I need to replace one of them. They got warped in the accident, I guess. Had a couple questions about what I'm gonna do with these. I thought about it very hard. I've come to a very cool conclusion, I believe. All right, just hear me out on this one. So obviously, these are tan. The headliner is black. How am I gonna make that work? The way I'm having the seats reupholstered, the tan would work, actually. Like, it would work very well. I photoshopped it. I was very happy with the way I thought it was gonna look. However, I've decided against these being tan, including the C-pillars. I'd actually like them to blend a little bit better with the suede headliner, right? So rather than keeping these tan and just cleaning them up or whatever, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to have these go suede, right? Like, obviously, like, suede's fucking cool. That's what we're doing. We're doing suede. We're doing a luxurious interior for whatever reason that I decided. The problem with that is that if I were to wrap these in suede with the material, if I glue it, needs a lot of complex edges, a lot of room for stretching and tearing. Not only that, but if you grab the handle, over time, you know, getting in the truck, because that's the only way you can get in this freaking truck because it's so tall, it's gonna get worn out over time. So I was like, okay, how about a stronger form of suede, right? So I was watching my buddy, that dude in blue, I was watching his video about flocking, and he's like, yes, it's definitely more resilient than if I were to just wrap it in a suede material. Basically, flocking is that you paint these with a black adhesive, then you use basically a little pushy thing, kind of looks like you're jerking off, to be honest. Shoot flock, or basically suede-like material all over the glue, whatever you want to call it, and it sticks to it, and when it dries, it's got the same feel, texture, look, smell, everything as suede. These complicated angles and these handles, whatnot, that's gonna be a good option. Still, over time, even though it's stronger than the actual cloth, it's gonna get worn out, and I don't want that. So I thought, how can I have my cake and eat it too? And I'll be honest, I think I came up with a pretty good solution. I am going to use bedliner. Hear me out, this is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna use bedliner just to do the handle. That way, the handles themselves will have a good grip, wet or dry. It'll be long lasting. Bedliner material sticks really good to plastic. Just do the handles in bedliner. Then when the flock shows up, I'll tape off the handles completely with the bedliner on it and flock the rest of it. It'll be tough on the handles, but it'll be soft on the rest of the A and B pillars. And I think this is the best way to get both function and form. So like I said, handles are gonna be bedliner, and then the rest of it is gonna be suede, or flocked suede. So that means I need to clean these up really good, tape them off to where I think it's gonna be appropriate, and then, yeah, clean them up and then apply the bedliner. These ready for the bedliner handles. All right, so now I need to add in the shocks. However, I am missing some of the hardware. I'm missing a bolt here and a bolt there and some other small bolts there. So what I'm gonna do, go to the hardware store, get the replacement bolt, come back and reinstall this shit. What's good? We got replacement shocks now for the back of the truck. These are good for 4 to 6 inch lifts. I contacted Fox Suspension. They gave me the right size that I needed, so I got these. And because I was missing some hardware, I went with some grade 8 bolts and nuts and washers. However, before we do that, I do want to show you guys this. There is a third fuse box, 3 of them. Hell, there could be a 4th one I don't know about. But I've checked every fuse in the front and every fuse in the back. The 2 cigarette lighter plugs in the front of the truck do not work right now. However, the ones in the back do. I checked every fuse in the front and every fuse in the passenger side, and they're all good. So now I'm gonna check these ones real quick. We're probably looking for APO, which is auxiliary power outlet. Looking for number 1, actually. I think it's fried, and I'm assuming that this 15 amp is blown as well. These 2 are blown. These are both the front 2 cigarette lighters. You know, we probably did this, but whatever. Thing is, always check your fuses first. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accessory power outlets in this truck, and I'm adding more. So go figure. Word of advice, if you have a vehicle, this is your make and model, try not to blow these fuses. This particular one is like $5 a piece. And I couldn't find any at AutoZone or O'Reilly's or anything. I had to go to a dealership and they have these, which supposedly will go right in. I had to get replacements, and like I said, about $5 a piece. Not fun. So that should be good, I hope. All right, now that we got the suspension switched and the fuses fixed, I want to wire this box up for the lights for in the ceiling. This is the motor for the ceiling, the starlight. The engine, whatever you want to call it. Shit, trying to get words out. Right now, the way it runs currently, it's that it's just hardwired in through a fuse right now that just comes on all the time. It's on no matter what, and if you turn it on, it's on. If you turn the box off, it's off. Meaning that you can leave it on until it absolutely will kill your battery in your truck, and I don't want that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to attach this to a fuse that comes on only when you put the car in accessory. What I've got here is a little fuse piggyback. Basically, this thing goes into the place of your current fuse. It'll still protect that circuit, but it also has a separate fuse for whatever you want. So basically, this is just a extra fuse slot, a fuse expander. Let's find something that's gonna come on whenever you put it into auxiliary. All right, I found one on the driver's side, which is the 31 your accessory run crank. So check this out. No power, but when I turn the key on, power on. Key on, key off. Key on, key off. So that way it won't kill the battery. Now, basically, I'm just going to run this cable underneath the carpet to the back. Here is the final product. I've got everything shrink wrapped nice and clean. The positive, the red cable runs all the way underneath the carpet. And then this black cable I've just basically just bolted to the, so I have a nice ground. Basically, all I got to do is tuck this underneath my little trimmy bits, underneath the carpet, underneath the trim. Run this through the back here. And this box will sit up underneath the seat like this. Power's plugged in. Everything's nice and tucked. And the box uses an RF remote, meaning that it doesn't have to point at it, it just has to be within a certain amount of feet. Nice and tucked underneath all the way over to there, which will tuck behind the trim. Boom. Cool, right? But I'm still gonna leave this pretty easily accessible for right now because I'm gonna piggyback off of this when I have some more lighting. Nothing crazy, maybe just some like glow underneath the seats or maybe in like the cup holders so you can see what's going on in those. So I'll piggyback off that system, but it's all LED, so it requires very little power. Should be super easy splicing and putting back in. So I'm gonna call this good for right now until the rest of those lights show up. I am going to clean the carpet. Came covered in all of this like dust. I'm not sure, but I think it's actually from the extra jute that came with it. Of course, naturally I run my vacuum against it and the vacuum don't do anything to it. Like not even remotely coming close to touching it. I think I'm just gonna have to brush this by hand. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh man, nice and clean carpet. This was ordered from a company called Stock Interiors or something like that. A lot of mixed reviews online. On their website, they have like amazing reviews. However, if you look on other websites, like third-party websites, they have very bad reviews. So I was very unsure whether or not to trust them. And I gotta say, for the price, not bad. I think altogether about 330 bucks, somewhere around there with shipping. Very happy with the results. And once the seats are in, it'll be absolutely amazing. Very, very soft. I got the highest quality carpet you could buy just because I wanted to be fancy like that. But I gotta say that this is easily one of the best things you can do for a car. Black headliner, black floor. Right now seems like a good a place as any to end the video. It's getting a little long here. I'm trying not to make these things super long, especially if I'm not making like insane headway. However, getting the carpet done was a big thing, along with some of the other details we took care of today as well. In the next video, hopefully I'll be getting the seats back from reupholstery. You guys get to see those. We'll finish up some of the wiring and lighting. We'll get the headlights done. We'll do the flocking of the handles and the bed liner and stuff. I'm gonna reapply the bed liner in the back of the truck as well. And then hopefully we'll start making progress on how to get this car back on the road and registered. And we'll see if we can't get some of the frame pulled and stuff like that too. So I will see you guys in the next video.